Welcome to the campus of Augusta University. It's pink out night here at the Chris as the Jaguars are getting set to take on Georgia College in a Peach Belt Conference matchup here tonight. I'm Robert Ambrose, and Peter, welcome.
Thanks, buddy.
And so we'll talk a little bit about what has led up to this matchup. This Jaguar team got off to a very hot start this season. The Jaguars, in each of their first 8 matchups, win or lose this season, were sweeps, and they ultimately started 5-2 or 6-2 in those matchups, and it took them all the way till the final game of the month of September before they got a 5-game match, and that was against Shorter, and they lost 3-2 in that one in a matchup in Rome, Georgia. And things have gotten interesting since then. The Jaguars are 16-6 overall this year, so they've had a very good season, but they've hardly played any games in conference play. This is only their 4th conference matchup, just 1-2, so there's a lot to prove. And this is the big stretch of the season, conference play, Peter.
Yeah, last match, the Jags went to a 4-set match. All the games, they were pretty close, though. They didn't really win either any of the games outright. So they used a few more subs. They still got a few more things to work on. I see they're wearing different color tonight. But like you said, yeah, starting to get into the bulk of the conference game. So it's time for the communication to be there, kind of knowing where each other players are going to be without even saying something, being in your position.
Yeah, absolutely. So last Tuesday, there was the most recent game here at the Chris. It was against Queens College. The Jaguars won that one in 4 sets, like you said. And they played 2 matchups on the road over the weekend, fell in both of them, fell in 5 sets to Lander, and fell in 4 sets to USC Aiken. And the Jaguars will play both of those teams the final weekend of the regular season here at the Chris, a chance for redemption in both of those instances. We look forward to that one as well. The Jaguars in Georgia College on Tuesday, November the 5th. So this is the first of 2 matchups between the Jaguars and Georgia College this season as well. This team last year they won the conference tournament, went to the first round of the NCAA tournament, but fell. They graduated a lot of players from last year's team. Last year's team returned everybody. The year before, they didn't have any seniors on their roster. They were hungry last year after the year before, having been to the semifinals of the conference tournament. They built on that, and now with the group that they do have back this year, despite the players they lost from last year's team, Mackenzie Beck, Natalia Govea, and Savannah Gonzalez, and Blair Bolton, just to name a few. The players that they do have back are hungry and ready to keep building, and so far, so good. 16-4 on the season overall. Starting 16-2, having started, actually 16-6 overall, having started 16-4. They did drop 2 in a row over the weekend, looking to bounce back tonight.
Yeah, Robert, you mentioned a young team. They got 5 freshmen, 3 sophomores, but they do have some seniors and juniors too. So you got the experience, kind of teaching the young ones. You even got some of the freshmen playing a lot of games like Saliba, Murky. So it's not just the seniors and juniors out there playing. They're all out there playing.
Murky, and also Holland Martin is a player to watch out for. She's the libero and has been her whole career. She's a junior, and she's something to watch out for watching this match tonight as well. We're just under 3 minutes away from the start of this one. It's going to be a dandy, and also let's also take a look at what the Jaguars have upcoming over the weekend. They'll host UNC Pembroke and Francis Marion. Should be a great weekend of volleyball here at the Chris over the weekend, so the Jaguars look to get back on the winning track beforehand, and that will have to be tonight.
Yep, Robert, hopefully it's a big different outcome than last weekend. Like you said, they played 2 matches this weekend, 7 o'clock Friday night, 2 o'clock p.m.
Yes,
Saturday.
the normal start time. It's a short night, Friday night, to get ready, and the Jaguars are used to that. That's kind of how things go in the Peach Belt Conference. Another thing to note, the Jaguars this season are undefeated at home, 6-0. And yes, good point, although you would not have heard this if you're listening, but Peter just knocked on wood because of a superstition, and I'm going to do the same thing when I talk about current records and streaks, the Jaguars being 6-0. It's important to do that. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll bring you the National Anthem starting lineups and get you set for volleyball here tonight at the Chris. Stay tuned. Okay. You got a pen, write your last name, so I'm on.
Yeah, he didn't find one. How much time? I got a minute.
Welcome back here to the Chris. We're getting close to starting this game. And before we do so, we're going to pause for the starting lineup announcements and the national anthem. Stay tuned, everybody. Welcome back to the Chris. We're getting set to play volleyball tonight. The Jaguars will start Chloe Allen, Nicolette Ramos, 5'9" junior from Jacksonville, and Kylie Martin. One of the starters, the libero Holland Martin, also starting, and Madison Malik, the 6'3" sophomore from Charleston, transferred from Charleston Southern, also starting. And it'll be Chloe Allen back to serve, the opening serve of tonight's match for the Jaguars. The whistle, and she gets it across. And away we go here at the Chris. And it's it back over. And now the Jaguars move on the attack for the first time tonight. And the first point of tonight's match and of the first set goes to Georgia College. So they lead at 1-0.
Robert, already it looks like some communication there between Till and Hedrick, but hopefully they work that out.
Sure they will. It's early. Jaguars in an L formation as part of the defense. Allen digs it up, and it goes right out of bounds. So 2 quick points for Georgia College. This is a good Jaguars team, but I think this will be a tough matchup tonight for the Jaguars. Georgia College is dangerous in most every sport in the Peach Belt. Volleyball is no exception. They get it across once again. Here comes this very young Jaguars team on the attack. And what a beautiful save on Georgia College's end. But the Jaguars answer right back. They spike it down and get the point. They're on the board. It's 2-1. And now they're going to send Kylie Martin to serve for the Jaguars. She gets it across. Now the Jaguars will bring 4 on the net. And it results in another point. We're tied at 2.
Yeah, Robert, they took advantage of a bad pass there by Georgia College.
Is this
unforced errors is what we...
Is this one of those matches that's going to come down to who takes advantage of the most mistakes by the opposition?
Could be, but...
Too early to tell, but that's so far. You're right, it could be. All right, so we have Georgia College on the attack. Here they come. And the Bobcats hit it out. So the Jaguars score 3 straight after giving up 2 straight, and they have a lead. It's 3-2. And now Kylie Martin is back to serve it. She gets it across.
Got a free ball here.
Jaguars setting up the attack nicely, but they hit it out of bounds too far across, and it's 3-3.
That was a good back set by Cassie Till. Cassie Till not usually starting as the setter for the Jags. A little mix-up in the lineup here tonight.
Till, a junior transfer from West Alabama. Coach Quarles, when she gets newcomers, she loves to go with all sorts of different players, whether it's a junior college transfer, sophomore transfer, graduate transfer, or just freshman. And it helps so they're never too young when they lose a bunch of players. They can always bring in experience to a new team that way. So the Jaguars now setting up the attack once again, and they hit it up to Chloe Allen, who hits it across. But the Bobcats were ready for it, and here they come. Jessica Hedrick hits it right to a defender, and it's spiked down.
They called that one a double hit on the set there until.
So for the Bobcats, it'll be Emma Bowner, 6'2" junior from Bogart, Georgia, serving it. Gets it across. Chloe Allen hits it back. Now the Jaguars setting up. You'll see that, you probably noticed this, Peter. The Jaguars like to hit the ball to Chloe Allen to get on the attack, and they like to have Jessica Hedrick as one of the leaders up front.
Yep, I have definitely noticed that. They also like Nicolette Ramos. And here she comes, speaking of her.
Yes, she's back into the game, and Holland Martin will take a seat along with Madison Malik, and Jaguars will serve it, and Julianne Saliba just into the game with the serve, and her entrance into the game is immediately felt. She gets the Jaguars a point on the serve, and she'll do it again with a tied game at 5.
Yeah, another unforced error by Georgia College. That seems to be how most of the points are going tonight. Not really winners, just unforced errors by the opposing team.
And that's hit across. It bounces off the leg of the side referee. And as a result, the other team gets the point. If you hit the ball off of a ref, you give up a point. So it's 6-5 Georgia College. And it's Morgan Overly serving. And Jaguars get the point. We're tied at 6. Go ahead.
Yep, Cassie Till with the quick set on there. The set was a little close to the net, so she decided to hit it over instead of setting it. Worked out to the advantage.
So Holland Martin is serving. And now it's back on the Jaguars side. So Holland Martin back into the game after a very quick breather on the bench. She's back. The Jaguars bring 3 up on the net. They rotate back into the attack. Chloe Allen, once again, they get it to her and she hits it across. And now the Jaguars back on the attack. Back over. Now they have to retreat back to defense mode. And that's going to be hit. Where does that one land? It lands just out. That was very close, though.
That was a good rally there by both teams, though.
Absolutely. So it's 7-6 in favor of Georgia College. They're going to send Nicole Cohen, 5'9" senior from Atlanta, Georgia's capital city and largest city, to serve. And the Jaguars immediately go on the attack, and it works. Tied at 7.
That was a great spike by Ramos. Put it where nobody was. Good set.
They were prepared for the serve, and they set it up perfectly and found the perfect spot, like you were saying. So we're tied at 7. Peyton Murchie will serve it. Last year, the Jaguars liked to get the ball to Mackenzie Beck as much as possible for spikes. This year, we're seeing Chloe Allen in that role. She's a junior. She's been here since freshman.
Yeah, Chloe Allen and Nicolette Ramos out there together, either side. They've got great hitters on both sides, so it makes it hard for the defense.
So it'll be Bobcats serve, and the Jaguars go on the attack once again. It worked last time, but this time the Bobcats are ready. But they hit it out, so the Jaguars get a point. This is a very back and forth opening set, tied at 8. No team has shown momentum, besides when Georgia College went up 2-0 early. The Jaguars scored 3 straight. It's been back and forth since. The Jaguars on the serve. And they keep 3 up on the net. And it's deflected. Murchie's going to hit it up. You know, the Jaguars are a team that's capable of putting a lot of runs together and getting points in a hurry. We have not seen that yet, but they do get the point there, and it's 9-8. But that doesn't mean we won't see that later.
Yep, Malik into the game with a couple hits. Great attempt on the save by the Georgia College libero, but they couldn't quite get it back over.
Ramos hits that one back over. And that goes out. And another point goes to the Jaguars. So 2 straight balls hit out of bounds by the Bobcats gives the Jaguars point. Ramos back to serve. Last year, Natalia Govea was the one who Coach Quarles liked to have serve. She hit the ball extremely hard on her serves. She has graduated, so Nicolette Ramos has been the server the last few rounds.
Yeah, notice that serve, she just did her normal serve, or her unnormal serve. Last Tuesday, she was doing the jump serve. Here, she just did a regular overhand serve.
It's done a little differently. There's a million ways to serve a volleyball. It's 10-9 Jaguars. The Jaguars have not led by more than 1 point yet in this set. And now they do. It's 11-9. And they're looking for more. They're going to send Chloe Allen back to serve this one. And they get it across. And the attack by the Bobcats.
That was a good quick set right there in the middle.
Caught the Jags off guard. They get a point, cut it to 11-10. The Jaguars were not ready.
Like you said, we're back and forth in the score, aren't we?
Yes. Jaguars still looking for that run that they get a lot. And now they go straight on the attack, but it's knocked down by the Bobcats, so it's 11-11.
Yeah, that was a good block by the Bobcats. And then off of a jag, so.
The Jaguars go into the L formation for their defense. They get it. They transition to the attack very nicely. And Chloe Allen, she was quite a ways from the hoop, from the net on that one, and she hit a line drive that landed in the perfect spot.
Yeah, that was a good back row hit right there.
So it's 12-11 AU. Kylie Martin will serve it. And Chloe Allen on the dig on their end. That's floated over. So no team has used either of their timeouts yet in this match, and that one goes out of bounds, and Coach Coral stops it from going into the stands, and it's tied at 12. So we're now basically at the halfway point of this first set, with it tied at 12, first to 25. Hedrick hits it up, and it's floated over the net onto Georgia College's side. And we're seeing both teams attack beautifully and setting up perfectly in this set. They're hitting it back and forth very well. And the Jaguars win that battle. That was a hard hit ball by the senior Jessica Hedrick. And we have whistle, and there's going to be substitutions. So Ramos is back in, and so is Julianne Saliba, a 4'11 freshman from Buford, back to serve. One of the nice young additions to this year's team. And she dives and hits it over beautifully. But Georgia College gets the point.
Yep, unfortunately the dig went a little far for the easy point for Georgia College.
But I will say size makes no difference. She may be 4'11", but she can still dive and hit the ball over beautifully.
Yeah, she did a nice jump serve there. She don't do that very often.
No, and that's a good sign of things to come for a freshman. We'll see a lot of her the next 3.5 years. Ramos with a very hard hit ball back over. You notice when the Jaguars put 3 up on the net, they put 3 in the back, and they'll have 1 in the way back and then 2 in the middle, not far in front of the 1 in the way back when they go into the defense. Tied at 13. Martin on a dig.
Back set.
Murchie hits it up.
Oh.
And Jaguars caught off guard. There was a little confusion on how they were going to set it up, and Murchie was caught off guard, didn't expect the ball to be hit her way. It was, and it lands for a point for Georgia College, so they have a 14-13 lead. The Jaguars this season have won 3 5-set matchups. Of the matchups that have won 5 sets, they have won 3 of them and lost 2. But a lot of their matchups have gone 3 and 4 sets, and they've been able to close out teams early and cruise to victories when they go on the runs, which they have not done so far, although it's very early in this one. Murchie attacks, and they float it over. And a whistle. Is that a too many hit violation? No, it floats out of bounds. So a point for the Jaguars, and we're tied at 14 all here in set 1. So Holland Martin will serve it. None of the matchups here at the Chris have gone 5 sets yet this season. We're knocking on wood, of course, like you did earlier.
Ramos with about 5 kills right now, but none of them are going down. They're blocking all of them, and they're blocking the other one.
That results in another Bobcats point, and they have a 2-point lead. Their first 2-point lead since it was 2-0. Actually, no, it's a 1-point lead. They lead 15-14 here in this one. So they'll serve it. They're going to send Nicole Cohen, 5'9" senior, serve, line drive across. And the Jaguars, because they're able to get it high in the air, it gives themselves plenty of time to set up and hit it back across. When you're trying to set up an attack or a kill, it's important to keep it high in the air, give each other time to get under it and into position. And the Jaguars are doing a beautiful job of that here in this round.
Yeah, unfortunately their passes though aren't quite to the setter in the middle. So they got the height down, now they just got to get it.
And as a result, they're able to get it across once, but Georgia College hits it right back over for a point. For that reason. So 16-14. Cohen serving again. I think this is one of the better crowds we've seen for a volleyball game here at the Chris this year.
Yep, well, there's another
just a Tuesday night.
Another unforced error by the Jags, and I think that's the first. Yep, that gets Coach Q to call a timeout.
So that's the first timeout used this match for either team. It's taken by the Jaguars. They trail set 1, 17-14. We'll take a timeout as well. Stay tuned. Welcome back after the Jags take the timeout, and a much-needed timeout. Try to stop the bleeding to prevent College from going on a little bit of run. Georgia College has scored 3 straight to go up 17-14, and now the Jaguars attack again, and the timeout pays off. The Jaguars were ready for that one. Ramos was in perfect position and hit a line drive spike straight down.
Yeah, that was the
as beautifully as you can.
That was the first kill for Ramos. Was one of our big hitters. That might even be the first kill for the Jags all night.
Absolutely. So 17-15 now. The Jaguars serving for the first time in a while. But this time Georgia College was ready. They floated over into the position where nobody was.
I got him on the dink set there.
18-15 is the score.
Little discussion here between coach and line judge. I think they want the little guy. Yeah, little guy in the back. Kind of causing some confusion there with the ball bouncing around.
That's the son of the PA announcer. And they get it back over.
Okay, we got a free ball here now. Let's go, Jags.
And
blocked it again.
It was deflected, and the Jaguars were caught off guard once again. So Georgia College has figured out what they've been able to do a good job reading the Jaguars' expectations on where the ball's going to go and catch them off guard, hitting in a different direction, and it's worked so far.
Yep, and Robert, though, in volleyball, you got to keep swinging, and just like there, Nicolette Ramos swings again and puts it down.
And you got to keep a poker face so the other team can't guess as easily, in a sense. 19-16 now. Ramos serves. And here come the Jaguars, and Allen tries to float it over, but the Bobcats were ready for that one. And this time the Jaguars now go back on the attack on their end. And where does that one land? That's a point for the Jaguars.
Yeah, beautiful set for the back row spike by Ramos again. She's starting to get on fire now. You got to feed her the ball when she's on fire.
Something Coach Quarles said in the timeout that has fired her up, as well as the whole team. She came out ready, and that was a beautiful line drive spike right after the timeout.
Got another free spike. She tried to
Malik
slice that
hit the net. It was a good attempt, great idea, right position. It just hit the net. 20-17. Georgia College, and now the Bobcats up 3 could position to closeout mode here in set 1. The Jaguars need to start a rally now. Only down 3. They're within striking distance, but they can't afford to let Georgia College get a bigger lead, and they get a beautiful job there. They found the perfect spot to hit that spike, and it's 20-18.
Yeah, that was a nice block by Chloe there. She's going back to serve, so let's work off this momentum.
Allen hits it across, and 3 up on the net.
Another block by the Jags.
It was Jessica Hedrick, uses her 6'2" height to hit the ball right down. She was able to reach over the net, hardly having to jump. And it's 20-19. Allen serves it. And here come the Bobcats. And Allen falls down on the dig that time.
All right, here we go. Free ball for the Jags.
Martin hits it over.
Just out.
The right idea, it was just on the wrong side of the line, like you said. 21-19. Georgia College, they're 4 points away from a victory here in set 1. And the Jaguars hit. That is deflected. It goes out of bounds, so the Jaguars get a point. And it will be Martin to serve it. She floats it over, and the Jaguars take advantage of a mistake by the Bobcats, who just weren't ready for that serve. And we're tied at 21s.
Another unforced error by Georgia, and guess what? That calls for a timeout. We got a tie ball game here, 21-21.
Absolutely. Now, if you're Coach Quarles, you have a little bit more momentum on your side compared to the last time there was a timeout, the one the Jags took earlier on, and now this one is called by the Bobcats. So now what is Coach Quarles going to address here?
I think she's going to keep telling them, keep the ball, block them like they've been doing the last 5 or 6 points here.
Yeah, so they got to find a way to keep it on their side. Don't get complacent with this rally. Remember, Georgia College might make some adjustments after the Jaguars rally, just like the Jaguars made adjustments during their last time out. So you got to be prepared for whatever the adjustments are going to be. And if you're Coach Quarles, I'm sure she'd be able to anticipate what they're going to be.
Yeah, Tuesday night when they had their match, every time the other team called the timeout, for some reason we served a misserve in the net or out of bounds. So hopefully, server concentrates and puts the serve in. No unforced errors. Basically.
That was not the case last time out. We'll see how Georgia Calls takes it. This will be a Jaguars serve.
Yep.
And it will be, it looks like Kylie Martin serving it. And it is. So that's where you start. It's her serve. And we'll see how Georgia College, if they're ready to defend, how they go about their defense and attack transition during this timeout. Each team has one timeout remaining. They do not carry over set to set, so they'll expire at the end of set one, if unused. So now the Jaguars on their second attack.
That was a double hit, bad set. 3 point for Georgia.
Well, the Jaguars took too long to figure out how to set up the attack, and the double hit, like you said, is as a result. So 22-21. Now the Jaguars will go back on the attack. And it's back on Georgia College's side.
Nice dig. Get over. Nice block. Nice block by the Jags.
Jessica Hedrick, once again, the 6'2" frame, spikes it down. It's a reason you put her up front, if you're Coach Wells. And it just makes you wonder how the Jags front will look next year when she's graduated. She is a senior. So you look ahead a little bit and think about how that's going to go. A lot of waiting and seeing. 22-22 all. What a first set. And Georgia College takes the lead 3-22.
That was Emily Crowell there from Georgia College. She's a lefty. That's always tough when you got lefty spikers. Most people are right-handed spikers, so you got to adjust on the block.
Got to be prepared and know which hand they're going to use because it's going to affect the direction the ball's going to go. Hedrick, this time, floats it over. No, it went out of bounds. It was a good effort, though.
Just got the post. Ref was right on it.
And it shows you she can do a lot more than just guard the net.
All right, we got game point here. Come on, Jags. We need Jags D here.
Down 24-22. Jags on the attack.
A back row spike. A free one. Up.
They're going to hit it up.
Libero got to stay on her feet. Block. Oh, it's our point.
It's 24-23.
Another double hit on the set. Back
so if the Jaguars score here, we're tied, and then it's not set point anymore.
Yep, got to win by 2.
So when you're down 2, all you got to focus on is getting 2 in a row. They got 1, now they got to get another. Yep. Martin serves it.
Oh,
and that one falls short of the net, and it's 24-24.
They tried the dink shot, but she didn't get enough in the net. And another timeout.
And we'll take a timeout as well. That's Georgia College's final timeout. The Jaguars still have 1 remaining. And a 25-24 lead back after this. Got to win by 2 here in set 1. What a great first set. And this should be a sign of things to come tonight with the way this has gone. It's high up in the air. And that gives the Jaguars time to get it across. They do. And they also got time to get ready for defense. They hit it back over. Chloe Allen was there that time, and that's hit down. And that is a point for Georgia College. So now it's set point once again. Georgia College up 25-24, and they're going to go with substitutions.
Yeah, that was a good rally back and forth. Some great hits by Georgia. Nice dig by Salida back there, but at the end, Georgia got the point. Another game point.
Jaguars get back on the attack. They got to get a point here, and they do, and we're tied at 25.
Nicoletta Ramos again, big hit on the deflection. Out of bounds, so point for Jags.
She originally started her college career at Florida State College of Jacksonville, from Jacksonville, and transferred here to AU this year. One of the many newcomers on this year's team. And Coach Quarles loves those transfers. And the Jags hit it back across. We're tied at 25, like I said, set one. Allen floats it over, but the Bobcats ready for that one as well, and she hits it back down. A whistle. Is that a netting violation?
No, their third hit didn't go over, so the ref calls it 4 hits.
One too many hits by Georgia College. The Jaguars take advantage. They get a point. And for the first time tonight, it's set point in favor of the Jaguars. Up 26-25. What a rally. And what a first set this has been so far.
Nice dig.
And it goes over, but it falls short of the net and goes under the net, and we're tied at 26.
So both teams over so far in set points.
That's why we're still playing in set one, tied at 26. And the Jaguars get it over, and now it'll be attack time for Georgia College.
Another nice dig. A nice play by Ramos.
She floated it over. No, that's a Jaguars point. She floated it over the tall defensive front into the perfect position. And it's the second Jaguars set point this set.
Coach Q sends in Malik for the height, the block on this set point again.
Absolutely crucial time. Jessica Hedrick, though, on the bench, but nevertheless Malik is in up front. And that one lands inside, and it's 27-27.
That was a good quick set by Georgia Peach.
Last season when the Jaguars hosted USC Aiken here, it was the clinching set for the Jaguars. The Jaguars won the match, but in the clinching set, the score went into the 30s because it was so back and forth. Is it possible we're headed there again here in set one?
It is.
But let's not forget, this is only set one. This is going to be a great match.
Jags with a good swing there, attempted block by Georgia, but it falls on their side. So set point number 3 for the Jags, I believe.
It's 28-27, yes, 3 and counting. Georgia College had 2, I believe. Front is up for the Jaguars. And it's going to float
save.
over. And yes, Malik with the save. Plenty of time to get under it.
Okay, here we go. Free chance for the Jags.
Jaguars on the attack. It is their set point. Allen gets it across, but the Bobcats are ready, and they're going to go back on the attack to try to tie this game back up at 28. Malik hits it over. The ball just does not want to land on the ground.
Okay, here we go. Good pass. Nice set, quick set for the hit and the win.
Up in the air.
The big save. Oh.
And that almost took out some of the banners. And the
puts it
Jaguars respond. They were in perfect position. They had plenty of time to wait to be ready when the ball was high up in the air on Georgia College's side. So they were ready, and they hit it right down when it came their way. And the Jaguars take a dramatic, entertaining set one, 29-27. What a first set. And a good comeback for the Jaguars, who were facing set point down 24-22, went on a 7-3 run to close out set one. Take a 1-0 lead. We'll take a break. When we come back, we will preview set 2 on the other side of this break. We are back, beginning set 2 after a dramatic set 1, one of the most entertaining sets we've seen all year, Peter. Jaguars taking the set, coming from behind, winning 29-27, and they take the early lead here in set 2, 1-0. If that's a sign of things to come, could we be in for a 5-set match tonight?
Let's hope not. But that was a great comeback in that first set.
Yes,
like
it was.
Said, they were down. They could have given up a point, but they still hung.
The Jaguars eked it out, but nevertheless, there's not a lot of momentum on their side with as close as that set was, so really anything could happen. And it could be back and forth the whole match, just like the first set. And so far, set 2, same thing. It's 1-1. So it'll be Bobcats serve. And they get it across. Now the Bobcats, similarly to what we saw from the Jags, put 3 up on the net. But the Jaguars hit it right through them, and it's 2-1. And that's going to bring Julianne Saliba, the freshman, back to serve. She's only one of 2 freshmen on this year's roster for the Jaguars. The other is Nidu Evans, of all the newcomers this season.
Looks like a little substitution mishap there. At any rate, they're letting the Jags play on.
And they'll serve it, and they get it across, leading 2-1 here in set 2. Deflected out of bounds. That was a good position by Jessica Hedrick. It just didn't bounce her way. Tied it 2 in set 2. Each team with 2 timeouts. So for the Bobcats, Emma Bowner to serve. She gets it across. It's Pink Out Night here in Augusta as part of Cancer Awareness Month.
Nice dig by the libero, who's already on the ground and still gets to the point, and the Jags end up winning it.
Jags hit it, and they deflect it into the perfect spot at the perfect angle that goes out of bounds.
That's the definition of never giving up and why she's libero.
Ellen Martin's had a great career so far. She's a junior, so she'll still be around for another year and a half. She's been the libero her whole career. Jags hit it back across. And the Bobcats with the point. And that ties it at 3. And Morgan Overly serving it. So this set back and forth just like the first set so far. Early though. And that lands in bounds. Point for the Bobcats. And I'll send Overly back to serve it. The Jaguars during conference play, winless on the road. 0-2, 1-0 at home conference play. 6-0 at home overall, and 16-6 overall the entire season. They've dropped, though, 2 in a row for their 2 conference losses on the road over the weekend. And with 3 home games this week, including tonight, Jags trying to bounce back. So far, so good. They have a 5-4 lead here in set 2 and a 1-0 lead here in this match.
Good eyes by Saliba back there, letting that one go out of bounds. They always teach you to follow the line. If the ball's to the outside of the line, you let her go.
And Murchie serves it. They get it back across, and the Jags go on the attack. And the Jaguars get the point, 6-4. So Murchie serving once again. And that one floats over. Holland Martin hesitated before going after that one. She thought it was going to go out of bounds, but it lands. Or actually, it did go out of bounds, so it worked out.
Just out.
So she was right to lay off of that one. And it's 6-4 Jaguars. Volleyball sometimes, Peter, can be a game of inches with the end line and where the ball lands.
This is very true, Robert.
So 7-4 Jaguars. This is the biggest lead of the match so far.
Big swing, boy.
And it's even bigger now. It's 8-4. So Murchie will serve it once again. Jags still trying to go on the big run and bury teams that we've seen before. They were able to win set one despite having not really been able to do that. But they showed they can win sets in just about every possible way, if there's anything to come from what we saw in set one.
That's two big hits over there by Martin, 2 in a row.
Bobcats were a little unprepared for that one. Jaguars take advantage. It's 9-4. That's 5 straight for the Jaguars and counting. Looking for more. Murchie serves it. She gets it across. And a float over.
Nice dig by Saliba. Quick set.
Both teams going back and forth.
That's got to be.
And that one just barely touched the ground.
Yeah, no,
they almost dug it up.
Anytime you see the ref go like this, means the girl lifted the ball.
You got to hit it. You can't touch it and throw it.
That's right. Ain't quite basketball.
Not quite. You also can't dribble it either, like in basketball.
Ooh, that's a big swing.
It's 10-4, now 10-5. So that ends the Jaguars' streak of 6 straight points. But the Jaguars so far have started to go on a little bit of a run that we talked about.
Yes, I think they picked off the momentum of ending the first match.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right about that. 3 matchups here at the Chris in a 5-day period starting tonight.
Blocked by Georgia, but it goes out of bounds. Another point for the Jags.
When you're guarding the corner or the edge of either side of the net, it's kind of a dangerous place to be attempting a spike. Because half the time it's going to go out of bounds and the other team's going to get the point, and that's what happened again there.
Yeah, Robert, you're right. It's tricky. They try to get you to hit it off the side of your opponent's blocking on to go out of bounds, or you go cross court and miss the block completely. Sometimes it doesn't always work out though.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's a timeout by Georgia.
So they take their first timeout. So a timeout taken a lot earlier in this set than the first set. And we'll take a timeout as well. We'll be back.
You are anything but ordinary. You have your own path and your own potential to realize. At Augusta University, the advantages created by our diversity in thought, culture, and collaboration give you and us infinite opportunity. Together, we're changing our community, our campus, and our world. We are boundless. We are Augusta University. You are anything but ordinary. You have your own path and your own potential to realize. At Augusta University, the advantages created by our diversity in thought, culture, and collaboration.
Welcome back here to the Chris. I'm Robert Ambrose, joined today by Peter Hayden. We just came back from a timeout taken by Georgia College. The Jaguars serve it, and it's high in the air on the Bobcats' end. And they come back around, and the Jaguars deflect it back off the net. And now they go back on the attack. And the point goes to Georgia College. Peter, if you're Georgia College, you took the time which you used today. What would you have addressed?
Sometimes
Georgia College?
timeout is just to slow down the momentum of the other team. But you just got to talk about communication, make sure you're in the right positioning, like we talked about earlier about blocking.
We've seen that be an issue a lot tonight on both sides. It's now 14-5 Jaguars. That's a 10-1 run. The Bobcats get the first point off a timeout, and the Jaguars get 2 more. Chloe Allen serves it now. She gets it across, and it's
an ace.
How beautiful is that? You serve it short of the defender.
Yep,
and it works for a point.
Little angle of a shot there, and the girl couldn't quite get down to dig it up.
We had a back-and-forth dramatic first set. Second set began similar fashion, but the Jaguars have gone on a run and now can start. Is it too early to transition to closeout mode, set 2?
Yeah, I probably won't say that quite yet. They're getting close.
We were speculating that Georgia College would be in closeout mode in set 1, and the Jaguars roared right back. Although Georgia College was a little closer at that point. 15-6. Jaguars, Allen hits it right over to Murchie, and it's back over onto the Bobcat side. And too many hits again?
Yep, double hit on the set. Anytime you hear the whistle after the set and you see the ref holding 2 fingers.
So it's 16-6.
It was a bad set. It wasn't
And
nice and clean.
like you said, that's always a result of the communication being an issue. You talked about how Georgia College needed to address that. It was an issue again there. Jaguars take advantage. It's 15-7, and another timeout for Georgia College. That's their final out here in set 2. We'll be back. We are back here at the Chris. So the Bobcats have basically just used 2 timeouts in a row within 2 rounds of each other. The Jaguars still have both of theirs and a 15-7 lead. Here in set 2, Jaguars on the attack. Jessica Hedrick spikes it, and it just lands in bounds. She was just far enough away from the edge to have space to keep it in bounds.
Yeah, that was a good spot, Rob. I think it hit the line.
And the line, it favors the attacking team. It's 16-7. And so far, both timeouts for Georgia College, they used almost back-to-back, have favored the Jaguars more than the Bobcats. And 16-8.
Robert,
now.
even though the Jays didn't get that point, you just see something different in the Augusta Jays
Yes.
players. They just seem happier, they're more confident.
You
more
can't
talk.
forget, when you take a timeout, the other team gets a chance to talk things over, too, at the same time. So the Jaguars have taken advantage of that. Lead at 16-8. They float it over.
Nice save. Free ball, though, for Georgia Pete. Good swing.
And that was beautiful. It was out of the reach of the Bobcats libero Emily Bowner and just landed in. I guess the perfect position to be in volleyball when you're on the attack is halfway between the center. If you're on the net, you want to be halfway between the center and the edge. So you have just enough room to hit it to the corner and it stays in. It's hard to hit it all the way across if you're in the center. 17-8 Jaguars. And here come the Bobcats. Now the Jaguars back on the attack, and they get it all over, and it just lands in.
Nope, it was a block by Georgia College. It landed just a bit out off
And
the deflection.
just a bit out. So it's 18-8 Jaguars. They're on the serve again.
Saliba with her little jump serve going. Free ball for the Jags.
They're able to set up beautifully, and they hit it over. It's deflected, and now Georgia College can set up on the attack.
Nice pass by Saliba. Big swing.
And they hit it over to Jessica Hedrick, and she gets the kill. And beautiful position. She has great court awareness. She went back and forth from right up into the net where she likes to hit the ball right down. She went back and forth several times to be in position to hit the ball whenever. And she was able to get the kill a little further from the net.
Yep, Robert, you're right. As a blocker, when you see the player moving, you don't know where to jump really. And then she had that great cross-court hit.
And it's 20-8 AU. It was 4-4 not too long ago. Since then, Georgia College has used both their timeouts. And it's a 16-4 Jaguars run. They're 5 points away from a 2-0 lead here in this best-of-5 match. Ramos,
big hit and
beautiful. The harder you hit it, the harder it is for the other teams to respond. Ramos hit it as hard as she could, and it paid off. So it's 21-8 Jaguars. And also when you have shorter time to react, it's harder to control where you hit the ball to.
Saliba serves it out. So that might be one of the first unforced errors I've seen in this game for the Jags.
21-9. The momentum is still very much on their side. Jaguars setting up.
Back row hit. Tight pass, but the set was backwards. There she is again.
Jessica Hedrick hits it over, and that's hit high in the air. It went way out of bounds, and it works out for the Jaguars. Bobcats had time to get under it, but all they could do was save it from going out, and they just hit it out anyway.
Yep, Libby Bachniak saved it, but it went over the next girl that was going to hit it again.
A little lack of awareness on where to hit the ball to results in a Jaguars point. It's 22-9. Chloe Allen hits it hard. And what a beautiful spike and block by Nicolette Ramos. She's not usually someone you'll see up on the net, but she was there, and she was in the right position, and she hit it at the perfect angle.
Yep, Ramos jump server. She's got ups.
It's 23-9 Jaguars. She's only 5'9", and she was still able to hit it at the perfect angle. 23-10 now.
Yeah, the Jags have been doing that right side, outside running spike for most of their spikes this game. It's working out most of the time.
Absolutely.
Ramos. Back row spike. Nice dig by Saliba.
And now the Jaguars can set up. Holland Martin was able to hit it up.
Pass and it landed in though. Chloe did the right thing by hitting the bad pass, but Georgia blocked it.
She did. They had their front right up on the net, and they hit it right down. So it's 23-11.
As a player, Robert, you get big eyes when you see that bad pass, and you can just put that one down without blockers.
Absolutely. And you use your time to prepare when the ball's on the other team's side.
There's another big hit and another Chloe Allen big hit. They returned it, but it returned it to the net, and she put it right back down. I love it.
She absolutely did. That's the perfect angle. So it's set point. Jaguars up 24-11. They have more than doubled up the Bobcats here in set two. It's a tale of two sets so far. And the Jaguars take set two and a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, they'll end that one on an ace.
They know they can win the sets any way possible.
Yeah, Robert, I think you're right. After that, by winning that first game, I think momentum just carried on big time into that game too.
Absolutely, and they were able to do it without having to take a single timeout in set two. So we'll come back in just over 2 minutes and preview set three on the other side of this break. This is a special presentation of the Augusta University Athletics Network on YouTube. We invite you all to stay tuned. We are back here in Christenberry Fieldhouse. Set 3, the Jaguars with a 2-0 lead. Chloe Allen, who had quite a few excellent spike plays in set 2, serving to start set 3. And the first point of set 3 goes to Georgia College. They have a 1-0 lead. It was a tale of 2 sets so far. Set 1, back and forth. And the Jaguars came back and win 29-27. A very entertaining first set. Set 2, completely the opposite. The Jaguars absolutely cruised. And we've seen that before. The Jaguars can win sets any way possible. And you knew the run was coming.
I know I mentioned it earlier, but that momentum coming back down like almost 3 set points in that first game.
Absolutely.
Getting the win, and they just kind of really took it to them in the second game there. So now you got to keep the pedal on the, foot on the pedal here in this third game. Uh-oh. She's laughing.
She being
Chloe. Looked like at first she was kind of holding her on like she might have been hurt, but she came up smiling. So that's a good sign.
Yes, it is. 22-1, Georgia College.
Quick hard serve there. Chloe, big hit from the back row there.
And that sails out of bounds. Chloe Allen lays off of that one. Beautiful job. Ties it at 2. Now, we've seen 2 different types of sets in set 2. What can you expect set 3? Which of those things are we going to see? Are we going to see something else that we haven't seen yet?
Well, Georgia College has to go all out because right now it's do or die.
Well, absolutely.
So they might change it up a little bit. Like right there, she tried to go down the line, missed it. So you got to kind of take chances here when you're down.
And they have a 3. Augusta has a 3-2 lead. Georgia College tried to make some adjustments while the Jaguars were on a roll in set 2. None of them worked out. Now the Jaguars lead 4-2.
Got an ace there for Saliba, bad pass. So there's another unforced error. A lot of unforced errors here by Georgia College ever since that first game.
And here come the Bobcats, and that one goes out of bounds. So 2 points this set in which the Bobcats hit one out of bounds. It's 5-2. Here come the Jaguars.
Saliba with that jump serve, it dips down, makes it real hard on the defender to get a good pass to set it.
But she was just able to dig it out, and ultimately the Bobcats win that battle, get the point. It's 5-3.
Yeah, that was a hit by Emily Krause. She's a lefty. We talked about earlier. Lefties are a lot harder to defend because you don't see them that often.
It's like a left-handed pitcher in baseball.
Exactly.
They're hard to hit off of.
It's sometimes all about the eyes, and you get used to it, and all of a sudden you see something different.
And our left-handed quarterback in football, just think about just how rare those are. And you think of some of the star quarterbacks that were left-handed as well. Jaguars serve it.
Bad miscommunication there by the 2 Georgia College girls.
But how about a beautiful serve into the perfect spot?
Yeah, sometimes it's not about how hard you hit it. That was a floater, but if you just put it in the right spot, communication causes errors.
And a service error by Holland Martin that hits the net. And that's a point for Georgia College. Now, yeah, if you're serving, your job is to find an open spot on the other side of the floor and hit it there. Boom, easy point. You can do that. It doesn't always work that way, though. So 7-4, Jaguars with the lead here in set 3. Jaguars go right on the attack, and Ramos has it blocked. But it goes out of bounds on the Jaguar point, and they've doubled up the Bobcats once again and lead at 8-4. Peyton Murchie will serve it.
Yeah, Robert, you were talking about serving last Tuesday here. I was watching the opponent's coach. Every time a girl served, she would point to her clipboard and point to the position she wanted to serve at. Whoever she felt the weakest passer for the Jags was. They were pointing for the Jags there.
Peyton Murchie serves.
Nice dig by Saliba.
And that is a beautiful job by Ramos. The Bobcats were in position to block, but it was hit hard enough that it was taken out of bounds. And it's 10-4 Jaguars and a timeout taken. Is that taken by Georgia College or the Jaguars? Georgia College takes timeout. They'll have one left. We'll be back. We are back here at the Chris. The Bobcats took both their timeouts in set 2, and they've used their first of 2 here in set 3. The Jaguars have not taken any timeouts since set 1, but they haven't had to. And right off the timeout, the Bobcats with a point. So it works out to them. They're down 10-5, but it's dire time for the Bobcats, down 10-5, facing with their backs against the wall. It's down 2-0. It's a closeout set for the Jaguars. And they get the point. It's 11-5.
That was a good point for the Jags there, Robert. Great pass by Saliba, good set, and execution on the hit. Perfectly played by the Jags.
So Ramos will start it, and she hits it over. The Jaguars move their 3 people back from the net, but it doesn't matter. It's an error on the Bobcats anyway, on a net violation. It's 12-5. Ramos will serve again. From what you've seen of this team, Peter, last year's team reached the NCAA tournament, won the conference tournament to get there. The year before, they were in the semifinals of the conference tournament. How far do you think this team can go this year? I still think they can go back to the NCAA tournament, maybe a little further from what we've seen so far, even though it's very early in conference play.
Yeah, Robert, what I've seen, they've got good hitters, they've got good passers, they're serving. I really like their teamwork. It seems like they all play well together, a lot of talk, a lot of communication.
And how huge is that with all the newcomers this year, which is a completely different story from last year. Last year's team returned everybody. The year before, there were 0 seniors.
Robert, that's very big. You know, in a lot of sports, if you get, changeover like that, sometimes you might even take a whole season just to kind of
you use that. That's how a rebuild works.
Right.
But
the timing of the players, it's understanding where they're going to be.
The Jaguars have figured it out long before the season started.
Absolutely.
And have used some activities to gel.
Ooh, a nice hit. A good block by George there, but the Jags are right on that one for the dink down.
It's 14-6. Chloe Allen. We've talked about her a lot in this game. And we're not done talking about her. She gets a serve, but it's a service error. It's 14-7.
Yeah, she tried a little jump serve there. Just got a little too much topspin on that one.
So it'll be Georgia College's serve. And Allen digs it up. Murchie hits it in the air. And that goes to the net, and the Jaguars get a point.
That's about 2 or 3 times this game that Georgia has hit it into the net on their hit, so it's like a free point for the Jags.
15-7.
That could be when you're down two games to none. Try to hit it too much, too hard, not quite executing correctly.
Well, you still got to keep playing and keep your head up and avoid the panic if you want to ever make a comeback.
Absolutely.
If it gets to your head, the Jaguars will take advantage, and they've done that and then some tonight.
Yeah, Robert, one thing we didn't talk about, we talked about the Jags getting the momentum on the first game. The other thing we didn't talk about on the flip side, if you're the team in the lead and you lose that, and you're the underdog, that really can deflate the team going forward.
And it seemed to have deflated them during the set 2, even though the Bobcats used both their timeouts. The adjustments did not work out in their favor. The Jaguars were anxious. You see this a lot. The Jaguars get fired up after a close set or even after a loss, and then they come back and absolutely roll in the next set.
Yeah, big hit there by Madison Malik, another kill for her. She's been doing a few kills tonight, too.
It's 17-8. Coach Quarles knows how to fire her team up at the right time when she has to.
She does some good subs there. She out Malik, Saliba to serve. Malik to block, Saliba to serve.
It's 17-8.
Free ball here. Back row hit, though. Good one. Nice pass by Saliba there. There's the that was hit the libero right there, chest, but they still couldn't get it over after that.
18-8. Jaguars 7 points away from the Tuesday night in the CSRA. We weren't thinking about a sweep when it was 24-22 Georgia College in set 1.
No, we weren't. It's looking that way now. And Nicolette Ramos with a nice block, and all momentum's to Augusta here.
It's been Jaguars since that point. 19-8 Jaguars now. They have 3 up on the net, but the Bobcats hit it through them. And now the Jaguars have up and go on. And Hedrick hits it down. The Bobcats were not prepared for it. It took a Jaguar-friendly spin And the Jaguars get a point. It's 20-8. Peter's on his way, get ready to try and get a player up here for a post-game interview. Working ahead a little bit. With the Jaguars leading 20-8 and a 2-0 lead here in set 3. And the Jaguars have a point. It's 21-8. Jaguars serve it. It's 21-8. The Jaguars now go up 22-8, just continuing to roll. And once again, it will be Saliba serving. Jaguars 3 points away from a sweep here tonight. The Jaguars 6 at home overall, looking to go to 7-0. It'll take a major rally by the Bobcats for that not to happen tonight. The Jaguars have swept 7 matches this season, including 6 in the month of December. And 1 in the month of October so far, and on the verge of number 2 this month. And that's a point for Georgia College. It's 22-9 now. Jaguars not taken any time out since it was set 1, but they have not had any reason to. Things are working out well for them. That's another point, though, for Georgia College. It's 22-10. And here comes Georgia College. If you're the Bobcats, you just focus one possession at a time. Simple as that. There's no game clock in volleyball, so you have all the time in the world. It's the points that you don't want to run out of, and that's another one for Georgia. So it's 22-11. So will look to answer back and continue to close out this set. And here they come on the attack with a 22-11 lead. They get it over, and now they'll move back into defense position. Get over and going to land out of bounds. Point for Georgia College. It's 22-12. That's 4 straight points for Georgia College since it was 22-8. So they've finally got a run for the first time in this game, have the Bobcats, but the Jaguars hope to take a little too late, and they're one step closer to exactly that. Get a point there on a beautiful float over the net. It's 23-12 Jaguars. And then Libero Holland and Mark back to serve it. It's with a 23-12 lead. And Martin digs it back up into the air. Attack. And that's floated over. And the Jaguars get the point, and it is match point with the Jaguars having doubled up the Bulldogs, or not the Bulldogs, the Bobcats here in set 3, 24-12. They more than doubled them up in set 2. They've done it again here in set 3. They've just been on a roll since that dramatic set 1 victory. Everything has gone their way. Coach Quarles knows how to prepare a team during a timeout, and it showed again tonight. And that's a point for Georgia College, so this game will continue for at least one more round. It's 24-13. Jaguars still trying to get the closeout point. Here in this one, snap a 2-game losing streak, which will improve them to 2-2 in conference play and 7-0 overall at home this season, and 17-6 overall in the season if they're able to tonight. And they get it down and they get the point. The Jaguars with the sweep. 25-13 victory here in set 3. And they complete the sweep. That's their 8th sweep victory this season out of 17 victories overall. They improved to 17-6 overall in the season, 2-2 in conference play, and 7-0 overall at home here, Chris, this season. And they'll look to keep improving on over the weekend with matchups on Friday and Saturday here at the Chris. On Friday hosting UNC Pembroke, and on Saturday hosting Francis Marion for the third game homestand. A homestand that began tonight with a sweep of Georgia College. And the Jaguars, after a very tough and dramatic win in set one, absolutely rolled in sets 2 and 3 to complete the sweep. I'm Robert Ambrose. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to try and get a player up here for a post-game interview, but we'll have to wait and see about that. But that's what we're going to try to do. And so we'll take a quick break, try and get a player up here for an interview, and then we'll wrap things up on the post-game. I'm Robert Ambrose. Stay tuned. All right, okay, so I'll say... Welcome back to Curry Fieldhouse. I'm Robert Ambrose. I'm joined by the star of tonight's game, Chloe Allen. Chloe, how's it going?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
Doing good. So, talk about your approach to tonight's game, and at what point did it change? You guys had a very dramatic win in set one,
Right.
back and forth, 29-27. Sets 2 and 3, you absolutely cruised. Talk about how if the approach changed at all and how that worked tonight.
Well, I believe we did. We had to, after the little timeout, we really had to buckle down and realize we weren't playing to the best of our abilities individually and cohesively as a team. So after going out, we realized that we weren't playing the best that we could, and we just changed like that. I guess individually, all of us stepped up and knew that we needed to step up and came together and pulled out this win. So.
And during set 2, especially, the other team used their two timeouts back to back, and you guys were able to put the one during timeouts and stop them from making adjustments. How are you guys able to do that?
It's just really keeping focus, and that is a main thing that coaches try to do is take away our momentum. But if we can just stay focused, keep trucking along, I guess that's really what helped us to do that. So
after you get Georgia College behind you, what are you most looking forward to about this weekend? You got UNC broke on Friday, Francis Marion less than 24 hours later. What are you most looking forward to? What do you expect over the weekend?
For my team, I really expect us to come out and to not, I guess, be as close like we did here, and to already come out and play as hard as we can instead of kind of playing around and not playing to the best of our abilities. So just to come out strong and play.
I don't know if you look at stats too much, but you guys are 7-0 in this building this season.
Right.
What does that mean to you?
It feels great. I mean, this is a kind of just playing off of last year, keeping the momentum going as well, and I think we can go pretty far. So really good. We have a lot of goals set, and I think we're achieving them.
Appreciate your time. Chloe Allen, star of tonight's game. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we will wrap things up on the other side of this break. Stay. We welcome you back to the Chris. Special thanks to Chloe Allen for taking the time for the post-game interview a moment ago. Robert Ambrose, I'm joined once again by Peter Heyman. Welcome back, Peter, and thanks for getting Chloe for us. So, Jaguars sweep today. It's their 8th sweep of the season. And set one, the Jaguars eked it out, got the first set out of the way, and absolutely cruised in sets 2 and 3. Do you have any additional final thoughts on the way tonight's game went?
You know, Robert, again, it's really that they were down in that first game, and they like Chloe was saying, when you start any match like this, you got to try to. It's sometimes really hard to come out of the gates firing on all cylinders. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
being down in the first game, predicted to win the first game and the match, and to have that momentum to hold serve, if you will, or save their serve, come back and win, and then they just rode that momentum throughout game 2 and game 3, and that shows good heart, good toughness, you know, the never giving up. So to me, that's what it was: teamwork, fight until the very end, and they came up victorious.
Absolutely. Teamwork is big, and it just shows just how it's incredible how this team has gelled with all these newcomers this season. You said this during the game. A lot of times when teams have a lot of newcomers, it becomes a rebuilding year, and it takes the whole year to figure it out, and then they come out the next year. This is that second year. The Jaguars are a year ahead of schedule based on that this year, 17-6 this season. They know how to gel. They did it well 2 years ago when they had no seniors on their roster and went to the semifinals of the conference tournament. Got even better, and they were hungry last year. They're hungry again this year, the players that are back. It's a good mix with the new group, and it's worked out tonight. Their 8th sweep of the season of the 17 wins that they have so far, and they'll look for more over the weekend. And you're looking forward to Friday's game against UNC Pembroke and Francis Marion on Saturday.
Absolutely. Let's start the weekend out. Get some more wins.
All right, we will bring both of those matches for you right here on the Augusta University Athletics Network on YouTube. So we invite you all to tune in wherever you are over the weekend as the Jaguars look to take 2 and extend their winning streak to 3 after winning tonight, sweeping the Georgia College Bobcats. Once again, I'm Robert Ambrose along with Peter Heyman. We'll see you Friday night. Good night, everybody.